What makes the port of Mombasa the preferred port on the East African coastline? Why is the port of Mombasa central to the development of the East and Central African region?
It is a gate to East and Central region.
As a manufacturer in Uganda, in a landlocked country, over 95% of our input has to be imported and has to be imported through the port of Mombasa.
The eastern part of DRC, we are receiving an average of 380 to 400 containers per month.
We have a number of clients in Rwanda, we have a number of clients in Uganda, and definitely clients and projects in South Sudan.
Really, Mombasa port is it's a lifeline. It's a lifeline.
Because most of our imports come through Mombasa, and now more important also, the exports. When anything goes wrong by here, then automatically it is translated into the economies of those countries.
The port of Mombasa, the largest and busiest port on the East African coastline, is the region's hub of international trade, handling over 22 million tons of cargo per annum. Serving the vast hinterlands of Kenya, Uganda, northern Tanzania, the Democratic Republic of Congo, South Sudan, Burundi, Rwanda, Ethiopia and Somalia, the port of Mombasa links shippers to over 100 ports in the world, with over 45 global shipping lines using the ports. Exports through the port include coffee, tea, soda ash, canned fruit, fluorspar and titanium. Crude oil, fertilizer, salt, sugar, wheat, maize, paper, iron, steel, motor vehicles and farm machinery are some of the key imports passing through the port.
100% of our tea exports go through Mombasa.
As an antidote to the country's public transport woes, government after 1986 decided to liberalize the public transport sector, a move consolidated by the privatization drive of the early 90s. On the surface, this appeared to be a good move, with many looking at it as a silver bullet to overturn the then run-down public transport system. The effort soon proved futile, as it only worked to consolidate the chaos that has come to characterize the country's public transport system since then.
The Uganda's public transport system, as it is currently, is not well organized, is not efficient, is not reliable, and it adds on the traffic congestion that we have in this country.
The failure of the bus transport led to the rise of the matatus. And now the matatus have reached a point whereby they are also bogged down in too much congestion, leading to the rise of borders. So the whole system is now too clogged, and it needs drastic action.
The company is counting on the quality of its service to attract passengers across the income divide, including those in the middle income bracket who would prefer using public transport to driving their own vehicles. To ensure the safety of passengers, all Pioneer Easy Bus Company vehicles come fitted with the right security systems.
We will be installing CCTV cameras in these buses and also the bus shelters. So there'll be a 360 degrees security when you are consuming this or using these services. Whether you are off board or on board the buses, you'll be in a secure environment.
Consistent with its commitment to offer a professional service, Pioneer Easy Bus Company looks at talent search that will spread across the formal and informal labor force.
Now, what Pioneer Easy Bus is doing is that it's making this a professional kind of job, whereby you have a name to that. You can take pride in it because the drivers will have a particular uniform. The people operating in are not going to be called conductors. They have another name, which brings a different touch to that. And on top of that, they go through a particular, training before actually operating onto the bus service. So you realize that if you have a skill, you've attained a skill, say somewhere, maybe during your senior 4 vacation, you went to driving school and you can actually drive, you will simply have more empowerment. You will learn how to operate a bus and earn a living because the salaries are really, really, good.
Beyond just employment, the wider trickle-down effect from this new bus service is quite enormous.
Pioneer is a bus, having a concession of building shelters and bus terminals and bus lanes. Now, a bus terminal is something that is going to be built on the periphery of our routes. That is the 30-kilometer arc. Now, when you look at that, economically, it changes. It can even begin a mini town, as you know, most of our trading centers in the country. So when you have 5 to 10 acres of land and you have over 400 buses exchanging passengers and taxis, that alone means there are over 2 million people being exchanged. Hotels, lodges, banks, insurance, all will rush there. Because that will be, for example, a place like Mbarara, a place like Kakiri, a place like Budo, to mention but a few. Those are not the exact places, but we are going to build terminals at all the periphery. So the trickle-down effect comes in a way that economically, people will be empowered. People will be able to sell their cash crops, their food crops to the emerging restaurants. They will be able to rent their houses. They'll be able to build small houses maybe for other businesses. And generally, there's going to be an economic development in that particular area.
For the corporate and indeed those seeking for a platform to showcase or advertise their merchandise and service, the coming of Pioneer Easy Bus Company presents a unique opportunity.
You have an opportunity to advertise outside the bus, inside the bus. This is a moving billboard. There are going to be 522 of them traversing the city for 24 hours. So it's very, very important for marketing managers, chief marketing officers, business development managers, commercial managers, even general managers and MDs to understand that they will have to decide whether to take the advertising spend to some of these media platforms. To divide and understand that you can advertise behind the chair. There's an LCD screen. You'll have 522 LCD screens. At a certain point, we are developing the technology so that they will be talking together. If you're playing, for example, an advert of Pioneer Easy Bus, and you play, there's a control room, and you can play all of them at a go, 522, serving 1.5 million people per day.
An effective and orderly public transport system is the first indicator of a country's commitment towards growth and progress. For this purpose, Pioneer Easy Bus Company today therefore commits and indeed happily carries the task of transforming the country's public transport system, first as a service to society and secondly presenting a good platform to enable business activity.